Our story begins with that quiet, ugly secret, the one buried deep in the American deserts from 1945 to 1962, manifested in 331 nuclear tests. Ah, that radiation. What marvelous work it did. It twisted the locals, turning them into genetically deformed beings. In short, their forms were warped, and they became the lurking predators of the hills. The government kept saying nothing happened, but those mountain devils had already started their new game, the initial signs of which we see with a research team. As one scientist was busy working, a man soaked in blood stumbled upon him, begging for help. Poor fellow. Little did he know he was about to become part of a larger hunt. And thunk, someone from behind delivered an axe blow to his head. How neatly done. One by one, those fiends brutally murdered all the other team members, dragging their bodies tied to their vehicle. Their bloody table was set, ready to enjoy the grotesque destiny resulting from the genetic defects in deformed children caused by the nuclear testing. Now, our main characters arrive. At a desolate gas station, we see a lonely man named Tom, a victim of solitude. He was out with his gun searching for someone named Ruby, clearly worried about her. When he returned, he found a bag. Inside, a camera, some expensive items, and oh yes, a severed ear in a tin box. What a fine welcome gift, wouldn't you say? While Tom was checking the bag, someone was secretly watching him, enjoying the show. The game had just begun, and just then, the Carter family's RV pulls up. John and Ethel, mom, dad, Lynn and Doug, elder daughter and son-in-law, 3 children, Brenda, Bobby, Catherine, and 2 innocent dogs, Beauty and Beast. They were heading to California, but they had no idea the masters of the game were waiting for them. While fueling up, Lynn saw the bag but ignored it. Before leaving, John asked Tom for direction, and Tom, the devil, he directed the prey straight into the trap. Forget the main road. Take this dirt track. You'll save 2 hours, John agreed, and the whole family merrily set off down that cursed path. Ha! What a sweet lie. They had traveled quite far when someone laid a huge trap in their path, and boom! One of their tires blew out, and the vehicle lost control, smashing straight into a large rock. Everyone was shaken, but alive. However, no cell service, and the vehicle was damaged. The real thrill of fear and panic was about to begin. In the chaos, both their dogs took off running, so Bobby chased after them to catch them. John and Doug decided to set out on foot to find help. John would head back to the gas station, and Doug would head the other way. Before leaving, John took his gun, which eventually ended up in Bobby's hands. A toy for the boy. And look, someone on the mountaintop was watching all of them through binoculars. For them, this was live entertainment. Bobby strayed quite far looking for the dog Beauty, and he found blood on the ground, followed by Beauty's mangled corpse, brutally killed. Oof! The first strong jolt of fear. Bobby fell and was knocked unconscious, and beside the unconscious boy came Ruby, the mutant Tom was looking for, who was different from the rest and wanted to save Bobby from the other terrible fiends, one of whom was busy eating the dog's flesh on a hill nearby. Meanwhile, Doug walked on and reached a place full of huge craters, where he found a collection of broken-down, useless vehicles. Consider this the Devil's Collection Center. And John, he reached the gas station as night fell. The phone was dead, but John saw the severed ear in the bag and the photos of deformed children on the walls. Timely realization. He understood he had been lured into a trap. As John scrambled to take a car and leave, Tom appeared, drunk and armed. John was trying to talk to him when Tom shot himself in the head. Phew, one small character out of the game. John panicked, started shooting randomly. But just as he was about to get into the car, he saw in the mirror a mutant behind him. Thud! John was knocked unconscious, and the mutant began dragging him into a mine shaft. Back at the trailer, Bobby had returned and his mom, Ethel, was tending to his wounds, but he didn't mention what happened to the dog. Brenda had brought him back, as Ruby had fled upon hearing their voice. Then something shook the trailer softly. Doug had also returned and told them the truth. There was no shortcut. It was all a lie. Now they all knew they were trapped. Night deepened. Bobby was awake when he heard Beast barking loudly, and he went out to check. Just then, a mutant named Pluto, a true demon, crept into the RV. He came to Brenda and he seized her. Brenda woke up and then began the horrible, wicked act that is the film's worst part. Bobby, sensing something outside, quickly woke Doug and Lynn and told them everything. But before they could act, they heard a loud scream and saw John tied to a tree and set on fire nearby. Everyone rushed out to save John. As they left, Lizard, another player carrying John's gun, entered the trailer. He scared Pluto away. One hunter doesn't like sharing prey, and then proceeded with the same disgusting act with Brenda, causing her to scream loudly. Meanwhile, John was burning and died right before their eyes. Just then, Lynn, hearing Brenda's screams, rushed back to the trailer. She saw Lizard holding her daughter, Catherine, at gunpoint. Lynn attacked, but then Ethel arrived, and Lizard shot her. Bang! Doug and Bobby ran back hearing the shot. Lizard was about to kill Brenda too, but Lynn stabbed his leg with a screwdriver, causing Lizard to shoot and kill Lynn instead of Brenda. Now 2 mothers lay dead. Lizard and his accomplice, leaving Brenda, perhaps they got bored, ran off with little Catherine. Bobby fired shots, but they were too far. When Doug saw the devastation, his mom and Lynn dead, and his daughter gone, he broke down. The happiness of his family was shattered. Meanwhile, a mutant named Goggle was sitting on the hill watching the action through binoculars. What a great view! And then Beast arrived and killed Goggle. A severed hand with a walkie-talkie fell near Doug. From it, he heard Catherine crying. The game wasn't over yet. Ethel, despite the gunshot, lingered for a moment before dying before their eyes. Seeing all this, Bobby went mad and wanted to go out for revenge, but Doug stopped him, explaining they needed a plan. Doug took the walkie-talkie and tried to communicate with the mutants. The next morning, Doug set out with Beast to find his daughter. Beast led him to a mutant graveyard in a mine, and from there to the abandoned nuclear testing village. Bobby and Brenda had also set up a gas trap near the trailer. They were no longer the prey, they were the hunters. Doug entered the village, which was full of mannequins. He found his daughter in one house, but inside he saw a mutant man watching TV. Doug silently reached Catherine, picked her up, but the mutant knocked him out. When Doug woke up, he was locked inside a freezer, surrounded by human body parts. What a chilling experience. Escaping the freezer, he grabbed a baseball bat and ventured further. He entered a room where he met Big Brain, the mutant who couldn't move and was utterly horrifying to look at. Big Brain revealed the whole history, how they were expelled from the city, and how the nuclear attacks made them genetically deformed. During their conversation, another mutant attacked Doug, chopping off 2 of his fingers with an axe. Ouch! But Doug seized the moment, stabbed the mutant with a screwdriver, and then finished him off with his own axe. Hearing the commotion, Sis arrived. Doug, hiding behind a car with the axe, attacked and killed him too. Big Brain ordered Lizard, "Kill the girl!" But then Beast arrived and killed Big Brain. Doug couldn't find Catherine because Ruby had stolen her, or rather, saved her, and fled. Bobby and Brenda looked for their mom's body. When Bobby saw a mutant eating his mom's corpse, he ran back to the trailer. Brenda opened the gas pipes and Bobby placed matchsticks under the door. As the mutant opened the door, there was a huge blast, and the mutant was burned to death. Another player out. Ruby brought Catherine to Doug, but then Lizard arrived and attacked Doug. A ferocious fight ensued. Finally, Doug shot and killed Lizard. Ruby gave Catherine back to Doug. It was a moment of immense joy, but Lizard was still alive. He got up and was about to shoot Doug. Just then, Ruby grabbed Lizard and tackled him off the cliff. Both fell and died. In the end, that innocent mutant sided with good and sacrificed herself. Doug, wounded, somehow made it back to Bobby and Brenda with his daughter and Beast. Only 4 members of the family remained alive. They hugged, happy to be together. But this devilish game wasn't over. Someone was still watching them from the hilltop through binoculars. The game continues.